Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Vaipo. We're going to be watching Game 2 of the Dreamhack Rocket Legacy of the Void Championship between PartinG and Solar. On the bottom left hand side of Lerilac Crest, we have Solar, who is a Zerg player. He's Korean and he is part of Samsung Galaxy. On the top left hand side, we have got PartinG, who is part of YoFlash Wolf, and he is playing the Protoss. Now let's see how this game progresses. We do have a block off here at the very beginning, of course. That is quite standard. We are seeing a spawning pool first, actually, so this is going to be quite interesting. That spawning pool was in fact a 13 pool, if I remember right. And that's quite an interesting open. Now, of course, there is always sense in sending the probe down, as I mentioned in the last game. Very, very important, because you get to catch this kind of shenanigans going on. So he's going to see this, of course, he's going to spot the spawning pool, and he's going to be like, oh, what are you trying to do here now? And straight away he's going to see, okay, I need to get some defensive units up, otherwise I will get rushed down by this Zerg. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to block off that exit. As you can see, there was 6 Zerglings straight away. No spawning pool yet. He is going to, of course, get denied here as well for a little bit by that probe. And it's just something that the Protoss really wants to do right now. He wants to delay the Zerg as much as possible, because he's doing so much to do all of this damage at the very beginning. The problem with these kind of early engagements is if it doesn't work and win you the game or do enough damage, let's say for example he doesn't break in here, which is very, very likely to happen, especially considering he doesn't know where the Protoss actually is until now. He is only going to find out now, so let's have a quick look. Did he actually scout it? I'm sure he did. Yeah, there we go, he did see it.
Your probes are under attack.
So this is the point where the Zerg is going to panic just a little bit. He is not quite making it before the Zealot comes out. He has a few Zerglings coming in, but that Zealot will be able to hold that doorway pretty long. I mean, it takes, as far as I remember, about 6 or 7 Zerglings to actually break through that, which would kind of completely deny the whole point of Zerg rushing, because he's not going to be able to get anything out of it. This most likely going to get cancelled before the actual completion of it, since that is going to die straight afterwards. So I do hope he's going to get a cancelled parting. There we go, 75 minerals lost, 75 minerals recovered after losing 25, just to delay that hatchery a little bit. Now you might think, okay, so it's not that much. I mean, it's only a few seconds, but in the pro level scene, pretty much every little thing counts. You might sometimes see even see probes and drones actually just slightly mining a mineral node on the enemy side when they do the scouting, just to kind of annoy the pathing of the enemy miners. So as you can see here, we do have a Zealot and an Adept in the field, in the middle of the entrance. That means that there's absolutely no way for these Zerglings to get through, and they wouldn't even kill that Zealot before all of them die. Now, as you can see also on the bottom left hand side, we do have a third hatchery coming out from Solar. So after he noticed that he has no way of getting this Zerg rush into PartinG's base, he just decided to go straight out and go macro again. Now, if PartinG notices this, he might try to do the exact same thing and just go all out rush into the Zerg base, but I don't think that he actually is expecting this. Ooh, a very quick oracle coming out. Now typically when you see about 5 minutes coming up, is a good time to put a spore crawler. Obviously Solar is very wary of this, and he probably predicted this based on the fact that there was a Zerg rush coming in, so he knew that sorry, that this is how PartinG would react. Again, I do apologize, I'm not quite great at casting just yet. So now he's going to get enough scouting to see what's going on. Of course, if he loses that oracle, that'll all go out the door, but hopefully he won't. So let's have a quick look. He still has not seen the second and the third hatchery, which could prove quite dangerous for him, because he has this quite big advantage right now. If he would have pulled out or pushed out with that, he would have probably done quite a lot of damage. But of course, in StarCraft 2, everything is about scouting. If you don't scout the enemy player, it can backfire quite badly. And while of course at no fault of any player individually, it does, you know, separate how successful you are. So it's not really about how good you are to get something scouted, it's how how persistent you are, because I mean he could throw in an Overlord into the Protoss base and see what's going on. He could have probably seen that Oracle on the way back, but he would have potentially ended up losing the Overlord itself. So it's what you're ready to really sacrifice for it. So as you can see here, we do have a Spore Crawler on pretty much 2 of his bases already, which is quite good of a start. He has almost gotten these Oracles down, so they're going to have to back off just a little bit to regenerate their shields. Not much that they're going to be able to do here, and there's probably going to be, yep, there's Spore Crawler here as well. So a Roach Warren coming out from Solar. He is going to start to build units now. There is these 2 pesky Oracles still going around, but they're not really going to be able to do that much. They might pick off a drone here or there, but of course, as you can see, perfectly being replaced. 16 workers on each of these hatcheries, and there will soon be 16 here as well. So the one thing that the Protoss player wants to do, of course, right now is potentially build up a nice upgraded force as well. So as you can see, we do have only metabolic boost and warp gates available at the moment. What do we need to get up here? We need to get production, active forces, yeah, production, there we go. So we'll keep it on that for now. Now, in terms of structures, we've got 2 warp gates only, and we do have a Stargate up already as well. Obviously, that was from the Oracles. There's going to be a lot of Adepts coming in here. It's going to be quite an interesting one. I remember when Adepts were really overpowered, they used to actually have more health, and it basically just made them pretty much immortal. And this is exactly what they would do. So they would just run in like that, use their shadow thing, and just be very annoying and very hard to kill. So they might actually get picked off here before their shadow runs out, and no, just about surviving. There's 3 of them actually running back here, running back to the base and trying to not die basically. This Stalker could potentially get picked off, but no, there is Oracles to defend it, so that should be just fine. So 3 bases for the Zerg. He is actually upgrading the 3rd hatchery into a lair, which is quite an interesting thing. I usually do the 2nd one, but really depends on how late you upgrade. Just to note as well, I did mention I'm a Platinum player last game. I play Zerg, just to put that out there. I don't really play Protoss or Terran at all. Back in Wings of Liberty, I did play Terran and Protoss kind of half and half, but I didn't really get much success. I didn't really put that much time into the game back then. So just some of these Zerglings running around. There is quite a few of them, as you can see. What's that, 12 in total? Just been harassing or just running around and just scouting around. Really, what he really wants to do right now is just making sure that there's no extra bases going out, because what you might notice is that the Protoss has taken a 3rd base. This can be extremely dangerous for... Okay, I need to get rid of that, so I need to figure out how to do that later. So basically, it can be very dangerous for a Zerg player if the enemy has as many bases as you do. You always want to stay at least 1 or 2 bases ahead. So here we go, we have a bit of extra things done here. I need to figure out the UI as well. I did download some custom UI for this, but it's not that great. There's a few bugs with it that I need to sort out. So a bit of harassment going off from pretty much everywhere with the Zerg, or with the Protoss player. He's actually taken a 4th hatchery here. Now let's actually see how much of this the Protoss is aware of. So he's aware of the 3 bases, he's not quite aware of the 4th one just yet. He tried scouting out here earlier, but of course that wasn't the case at the time. So let's see, the actual Zerg player is breaking into the 3rd here. This might do a lot of damage, but the Protoss player is ready. They could potentially cut them off here. If the Zerg get caught here, this would be pretty bad for them. But no, they're just a little bit too late. The Protoss player just decides, or the Zerg player decides to back off before doing any significant damage. Of course, the Photon Cannon is offering the minimal of help. We do have a War Prison being loaded up here with 2, and I repeat, 2 Disruptors. So that's pretty interesting. Ooh. Right, so he does spot a bunch of Ravagers getting morphed here. That's quite significant for him. It means that any sort of long-range units, for example, Colossi and the War Prism, they are going to be very vulnerable now, since the actual Ravagers are up. This also reduces the amount of damage that Stalkers do, since they only do 11 versus normal and 15 versus armored, so it is going to reduce it by just that little bit. Blink almost ready, so we have 10 minutes until Blink. This is going to be where the Protoss is going to probably be at his strongest. I do, however, feel that unless he gets some really good Purification Novas, I think they're called, from the Disruptor, this could turn very, very messy. The Zerg player is quite macroed up. He has quite a big force. His fort base is almost fully saturated at this stage, and the Protoss player is just not that filled up. If you look at the supply, even 200 supply for the Zerg and 150 for the Protoss, although of course a lot of that can go into the actual probes and drones. So these roaches going to get picked off. Quite a nice free pickup for the Protoss player. I don't think he has burrow yet, so probably not going to get away there. Yeah, that's a few free roaches just gone that way. Now let's see what this is up to here. We do have War Prism with 2 what are they called again? Disruptors. Oh, that is a beautiful Purification Nova. That was a total of 7 with just 2. Very, very nice. That's pretty much half of the miners gone from this area. So that's a very, very, very good secure for him. Now, he's going to have to do that quite a lot. Ooh, we do have lurkers on the field as well. So that's quite interesting. 2 upgraded units, both Hydras and the Roaches. So this is going to be very, very difficult to get through. I figured only recently how difficult it is to actually get through lurkers. They're just so damn tough. I mean, they have a lot of health. They've got armor. They've got 33 damage versus armored, and of course they hit more than 1 unit, which is always really, really awesome. So these lurkers going to burrow here, very likely to do a lot of damage. Probably going to take out this robotics facility quite easily, uncontested. Oh, there's actually a big engage here, and there's actually a lot of splits going on. So I'm going to try to play with a bit of zooming. Is it zoom? There we go. Shift. So we have the Protoss coming up from behind, and the Zerg is a little bit thin right now. They are spread quite a lot. Now this could potentially turn quite ugly for the Zerg if he does not reinforce this or back off. He's probably trying to get this Nexus down, but I don't think he has quite enough units for it. It might be better to just back off just a little bit, reinforce his units and get back into it, because at the moment he is just getting dwindled down. The blink just being revealed as well. So there we go. The Zerg also just got supply blocked. Not going to be much of a problem. Of course, he's just going to reinforce that again. 9 drones, however, taken out by the Zerg. So he did repay back for those Purification Novas that happened just a few minutes ago. So as you can see, we do have Protoss level 3 on the way. So look at the upgrades. What do we have? We've got Zerg missiles level 1. We do have level 2 ground weapons for Protoss, which is quite significant. A very nice upgrade to have. Go back to the production. As you can see right now, I do believe that the Zerg player is trying to... Oh, that was a huge Purification Nova. That was massive. And this is going to force him to back off with this force. He was, I believe, trying to distract the Protoss player and just kind of split up his army. But what happened instead is that Purification Nova absolutely tore through that group. So this is going to be very, very interesting here. There's a split up force, but as you can see, the Ravager's just sitting there. There is no vision as far as I can see. He does know where they are, of course, based on where they're attacking, but he does not actually have detection for them, which could potentially cost him a few units in the cost. There's the actual detection here. There it is. Observer is hiding behind him. I didn't quite spot it. I love the graphics and how the physics work with Zerg units when they get blown up by something like that. It's just crazy. Let's zoom that out again. Seems like this is a very good way to cast. I really like it that way. Oh, these lurkers getting caught completely off guard. They're also being visible due to the observer, but as you can see, they're so spread out that it really is dangerous for the Protoss to stay there. He did have to back off, otherwise he would have probably lost all of those units, and that would result probably in an early GG. So 4 bases still. If you can notice on the top of the map, there is actually a base taken out by the Zerg, so he's doing really, really good with defending against the Protoss onslaught, but he is starting to slowly get dwindled down as well. It's going to be a very, very interesting fight. Are they going to do like a base race kind of situation? Ooh, look at that. We do have Dark Templars on the field as well. That means that these roaches are going to have to back off, otherwise they are going to get destroyed slowly but surely, but they would not be able to take out the base. In the meantime, we do have the Protoss army here doing quite a lot of damage, slowly dwindling down these lurkers, and I do believe that the Zerg is in a little bit of trouble right now. I think that he might need to actually expand into another expansion. This base here, as you can see, only 3 workers remaining and 6 are the total. So the Zerg supply is starting to run a little bit low. This is one thing that I noticed myself as a Zerg player. If you are not fully saturated on at least 3 bases, you really won't have the power to back up your units. And we do have a GG called here from Solar. So that was a 1-to-1 right now. We did have the Zerg player winning first. This was a very exciting match to see how it progressed. I mean, of course, I believe that the biggest problem here with pretty much the fact that it took 15 minutes was because the Protoss didn't realize that the Zerg player was expanding after that failed rush. If he would have realized that, he would have probably rushed a lot quicker with units, simply because when a Protoss fails his rush, or sorry, Zerg fails his rush, he has absolutely no units, no tech, no buildings. All he has is a few measly Zerglings, which really won't hold off much. So that's pretty much this game. Thank you for watching, guys. That was game 2, leaving us with a 1-to-1 score between these 2 players. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Please leave it a thumbs up if you believe it deserves it. And of course, at the end in the intro, there is subscribe and the next video link once it does become available. So that's it. I'll end it here. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck. Take care. Bye bye.